far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Hello, Contrarians listeners, Contrarians watchers, all of you visiting this channel, checking out this video. Here we are for the big finale of our Mount Rushmore with an asterisk arc. The final chapter, the Robert De Niro chapter, is the Goodfellas chapter. We're going to talk about it as if it was a rotten movie because it's extremely fresh in the Tomatometer. It's like at 94%, I think, Alex, or 93%. So it's one of the top ones.
There's a lot of people whose entire personality is built around the fact that Goodfellas is their favorite film.
I feel personally attacked. I think that when we get to real talk, the big question is going to be, will Alex finally accept that Goodfellas is better than Casino?
Oh, 96%, by the way.
Oh, well, look. Now, all of that you'll find out in the actual episode. What we're going to do here is just get you ready. We're going to warm you up with some very, very fresh quotes. And then the Josh Gad game. So many characters to choose from in Goodfellas. And then Alex is not doing trivia. He's doing something else. So we'll see what else he has planned for us. But let's get on with the quotes, all fresh, starting with John Bleasdale from Cinevu, who says, the rock and roll counterpoint to the grand operatic tragedy of Francis Ford Coppola's Godfather saga. That is really the big thing. It's not Goodfellas versus Casino. That might be like our thing. But for the world at large, it's Goodfellas versus The Godfather. Do you agree that Goodfellas is rock and roll? And The Godfather is what? A little bit country?
Not country. You'd say like classical. It's like Mozart. Yeah. Comparing like Mozart to fucking like Guns N' Roses or some shit. Aerosmith. Yeah, I guess. I mean, God, wouldn't that be a tough? For me, it would be if someone's like, all right, you can only have the Goodfellas or Godfather for the rest of the time. You can't have both of them. That'd be
that's an easy pick, dude.
Yeah, for you.
The Godfather is like, it's okay. It's good. You know, I used to say it wasn't even a good movie. I've come to appreciate it to where it's a good movie, but
what do you think about the second one then?
Overrated, unnecessary.
Wow.
I'm gonna go off the rails early here.
Yeah, I'm learning all this in real time, listeners. But anyway, yeah, I'm fine with an analogy that's like one walked so one could run, but that's better.
Okay. I was gonna say The Godfather is classic rock, and Goodfellas is like punk rock.
No.
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 Okay.
What movie is that from? No, I like the way I said it better. I can't remember it.
It's Warlord. Thank you, but I prefer it my way.
All right, Matt Brunson from Creative Loafing says, it's Joe Pesci who dominates the picture with his fierce performance as Tommy DeVito, an ill-tempered mobster who frequently displays the tendencies of a rabid Wolverine. I'm sure we're going to have lots of Joe Pesci talk on the episode. So instead, Alex, I pose you this question. Joe Pesci as a rabid Wolverine, Joe Pesci as an X-Men. You know, back in the day, there were rumors of De Niro as Wolverine.
Not De Niro, DeVito. Danny DeVito.
As Wolverine?
I don't know how many years on this earth I got left. I'm going to get real weird with it.
Yeah, isn't that what you're talking about?
No. Joe Pesci. Because they're comparing him here to a rabid Wolverine. But
well, you said Robert De Niro. There were rumors of De Niro being Wolverine?
Back in the, like, before the first X-Men movie. Like, they were...
Wow.
I mean, I think they were just people fan casting, but I thought that you knew that because I was about to start. Like, that's part of the canon, and then
I knew the DeVito thing. There's that rumor that there was going to be in the late '80s an R-rated Wolverine movie where Danny DeVito played Wolverine.
That is bizarre. Like, that's more bizarre than Pesci playing, because that's where I was going. It's like, do you see Joe Pesci as Wolverine?
Joe Pesci's Nightcrawler. That's the way to go.
What? No,
he's really small or his Toad. He could be Toad. I got a long fucking tongue here. Something like that.
You know, in the comics, the original design for Wolverine was that he was short and just kind of like scruffy. He's not supposed to be attractive. He's not supposed to be Hugh Jackman. And then over the years, we beautified Wolverine. So of course, I say Joe Pesci is Wolverine, and you laugh, but it's, you know, there's a version of the X-Men that's a little more...
Because Joe Pesci's so scary as is, he doesn't need claws. You can just like stomp the shit out of you.
Now imagine Joe Pesci with claws.
there was a wrestler named Sid Murder who wrestled for XCW, which was a shitty independent that ran every Friday night in Denton, Texas. And if you had a student ID, which I did from UNT, $5 to get in. So, and it was BYOB, and they didn't give a fuck if you were like old enough to actually drink or not. So we would go there and just get fucked up and watch like bad wrestling. It wasn't bad, but it was so much fun. And they were all these like just local characters that, you know, for the most part, there's a couple of them went on to do like WWE and shit, but they were just kind of local people there, you know. Yeah, I'm going to do the wrestling thing. But the Sid Murder guy had this signature spot where he'd put a guy in a corner and the guy was like down on his side or, you know, trying to pull himself up, and he'd look at the crowd and he'd go, Joe Pesci stomping. And then he would just start stomping the shit out of the guy.
I love it. Okay, Joe Pesci is a wrestler. Joe Pesci as the wrestler, Randy the Ram. Yeah. Just jumping.
No, Pesci would have to have a mask on. He'd have to be like a luchador or something.
All right. Okay, enough Pesci. Let's go to Jeff Beck from The Blue Spot, who says, even after 25 years, Marty Scorsese Goodfellas remains the very apex of mobster cinema.
Jeff Beck, the guitarist?
From The Blue Spot, maybe he moonlights. If Loader can be quoted on Rotten Tomatoes every now and then, I'm sure that Jeff Beck, the guitarist, can do something. But the very apex of mobster cinema. What else do we have? I mean, Scarface?
Godfather? Fuck Scarface.
But it
Godfather,
is, you know, people consider it. Donnie Brasco.
Yeah. Donnie Brasco.
Casino.
No. Yeah, anything I think of is just going to be like Usual Suspect type stuff. Not the actual Usual Suspects, but like the expression. It's
half of them are Scorsese's.
Yeah, and then Coppola, and in the back of the room, De Palma's like, "Hey,
remember me?" All right, we're going to close the quotes with Lou Cedroni from Baltimore Sun, who says, Marty Scorsese's Goodfellas is a good film, maybe a great film, but it is also difficult to watch at times. At times, it is so brutal, you will find yourself looking away. I guess it was brutal for the early 90s, but do you think that Lou watches Goodfellas now versus, you know, the level of violence that we have in cinema in present day? And goes,
well, I think our podcast run has definitively proven that you and I are a bit desensitized to some things. I mean, it's fucking rough when Pesci gets shot in the back of the head.
Practical, no CG.
Oh. As God intended.
Yeah, and I mean, it is pretty violent. It is brutal, but it's also
at no point does it, you know. If we can harken back to the days of talking about Rob Zombie movies, at no point does it feel unnecessary, the violence that's going on. It's just
it's very much not Rob Zombie's Goodfellas.
Jesus. I shudder to think.
Yeah. All right. Before we go into whatever you have planned for us, Alex, God, it's just like a cast of hundreds. Where do you put Josh Gad?
I immediately knew with the face to put to it, and God bless Paul Sorvino, but Paul Cicero is who Josh Gad's going to play. Slicing the garlic on the razor blade real thin.
Man, I mean, I love it in the sense that I want Josh Gad to like expand, you know, his horizons, and I never would have thought that I would see him play a mob boss, but now I feel bad because I was thinking Spider. That was like my first thought. It's just, you know, this guy that doesn't really make it, and he's dead before, you know, we could see him really.
No, this one's definitely like selfish. Like Josh Gad is the eternal first guy that dies in the Nom movie. Like he's the guy that's always like too excited to be there and having fun, and you know, has this girl who's pregnant waiting for him back home. But in this, it's specifically that shot where it's just the profile of him, like very focused, like cutting the garlic. I could just see Josh Gad doing that with the hair slicked back and wearing the wife beater, and you know.
All right, sold. I won't argue anymore. We like it. Josh Gad, tell us what you think. Okay, so you're not doing trivia, Alex. What are you doing? What is this?
Yeah, Godfather. Again, this is like, you could argue. I'm trying to think, like Titanic next to that, like the most accessible movie that people have knowledge of. Like it's not hard to find out facts about this movie, so not too much digging. So for this, I've pulled up Goodfellas, Casino, and The Departed. I'm going to name characters from these movies, and you're going to tell me which movie they're from.
Okay.
We'll start really easy with this one.
Oh fuck.
Billy Costigan Jr.
Oh, okay. Well, that's The Departed. That's
All right,
DiCaprio.
yeah.
I can even name the actor.
There you go. Wanted to give you one. Frankie Carbone.
Frankie Carbone sounds like a gangster. So, so wait, Goodfellas, The Departed, and
Casino.
Casino. Okay, Carbone doesn't sound like anything I heard in Goodfellas, so I'm gonna go with Casino.
Frank Servio in The Goodfellas, my friend.
Who is he?
Yeah. Frankie Carbone. Frank Servio.
Yeah, but who is he? Is he just one of those guys that you walk past? Who's like
No, he's a pretty substantial player in it. So you're gonna have to go back.
Oh, I
rewatch
know
this.
who he is. I know who he is. They
Yeah.
find him in the meat freezer, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn
Yeah.
it.
Okay. Tony Stacks.
Motherfucker. I know this. Is it Samuel Jackson in Goodfellas?
It is Goodfellas, and you're close because Samuel Jackson is Stax Edwards. But you got the movie right. Tony Cicero is Tony Stacks.
Okay.
Paulie from
Paulie. Yeah.
Yeah, from Sopranos. All right, I'll do a couple more here. Lester Diamond.
That's Casino. That's James Woods.
Nicely done.
Pretty
done.
Persuasions, James Woods.
Yes. It's too fresh in your mind. I gave that to you too easy. Let's not discriminate. Let's get a woman in here. Madeline Madden.
Fuck. Okay, well I can tell you it's not Goodfellas. Once again, I'm pretty sure that I didn't hear the name in Goodfellas, so it doesn't. There's like two women in The Departed, and I don't think it's either of them. So I'm gonna go with Casino, but it's not Sharon Stone. So I don't know.
Sharon Stone is Ginger. You were close there. It was one of the two women. It was Vera Farmiga in The Departed.
Really? And I almost said it's not Vera Farmiga.
It happens that way sometimes. Nikki Santoro.
Nikki Santoro's Joe Pesci in Casino.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
the easiest
All right.
one.
Yeah. And I can't do Spider now. He's a staple of Scorsese's picks. Michael, this isn't the actor's name. This the actor. No. Michael Hill is the character's name. The actor appears in numerous Scorsese films. So at this point, Michael Hill, and I'll give you the actor's name because he is in a few of them. Kevin Corrigan is Michael Hill.
Well, we were just talking about Kevin Corrigan, The Departed, not too long ago. So is that him in The Departed?
It's him in Goodfellas, my friend.
Oh.
I should have just been like, it's him in The Exorcist 3. Psych. All right. Well, I mean, we could do this all day because these movies have wild casts. Just for shits and giggles, we'll see if you can get this one and the actor. Billy Sherbert.
That's the character's name.
Mm-hmm. This actor, at the same time he was shooting this movie, was also shooting a movie that Bob Saget was directing, if that helps at all.
So the movie that Bob Saget was directing was probably The Aristocrats. The Aristocrats, not the Aristocats. And so that means that this guy is that comedian that plays DeNiro's second in command in Casino. I don't remember his name, but it's Casino.
Don Rickles in Casino.
Don Rickles in Casino. Yeah.
Nicely done. And yeah, that it was actually Dirty Work because he's in that. He runs a movie theater in Dirty Work and famously told the story of telling Scorsese he couldn't shoot on Thursday or some day of the week because he was on another project and he was shooting another movie, and Scorsese asked him who the director was, and he said Saget, and he said Scorsese took a step back and he grabbed his chest.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think I did okay.
I think you batted about 500.
Yeah.
You did a 50-50 there. Yeah.
Yep. And I didn't study. I was not prepared for this. So I think that's a good reflection on my Scorsese knowledge. We'll be talking about Goodfellas and Scorsese and DeNiro and Pesci and Ray Liotta, which we haven't mentioned at all.
Yeah.
in this entire recording.
It's his vehicle.
It is a Ray Liotta movie with everybody else in the background. So we'll talk about him, Lorraine Bracco, and Paul Sorvino, the whole gang will be there. Check out our Goodfellas episode, and don't be fooled by all the bad things we're gonna say about it in Contrarians Corner. I think it's pretty clear that Alex and I appreciate this movie. At the very least, we appreciate it.
Yes.
We'll go from there. Coming up next is a patron pick. And Alex, we had a choice between two movies, and you picked the Kevin Bacon one. We're doing a Death Proof. No, not Death Proof. Death Sentence. Death Sentence. 20% rotten in the Tomatometer. So be prepared for that. But first, Goodfellas. As usual.
John Goodman's the bad guy.
In Death Sentence? I thought he's not even in the poster. I don't think. Then again, maybe he's there and I just didn't recognize him because the poster is really red and kind of like smoky.
To be fair, I watched this movie once and it was from the projection booth. I feel like he was the bad guy. Who fucking knows? Garrett Hedlund's in it though, so there you go.
Well, I know Kevin Bacon is in it. Directed by James Wan. That's all that matters. But all right, that's it. Enough chit chat. You guys have an episode to listen to, and we have more movies to watch. So thank you for checking this out. Thank you for checking the podcast, and we'll talk to you again soon.